As Alva Leopold said in Martial Analogy, our ability to perceive quality in nature begins, as in art, with the pretty. From a scientist. It expands through successive stages of the beautiful into values as yet uncaptured by language. The quality of cranes lies, I think, in this higher gamut, as yet beyond the reach of words. In other words, indescribable. You see 40,000 sandhill cranes in the air, it is indescribable. You can capture it to some extent, but it doesn't replace being there, but it certainly helps. It's better than giving it away. So, what does it take for you guys to become a core member? Attend all-day workshops on Saturday to learn and refine the skills of photography, sketch journaling, and descriptive writing, and we will go beyond these. We'll talk about other things. Spend time at the course site using these skills. We expect you to apply this. This is just not something you get, put the notebook on the shelf and go home. And share your work with others. Otherwise, if your work is not shared, what is it? Memory. Right? No memory. Here we are in the Arboretum. Here's the first Emiquon core discovery. A lot of people have done this. Here's the notebook. Everybody's notebook is the same. Everybody's notebook is different because we tailor each one to the site. This is the Cache River one. These are some of the skill building activities you're going to do. We've all done them. We created them. We've done them. We make they work. By the time you've gone through all of these, you will have descriptive prowess. Okay? You can't help it. Unless you just can't do it, I'm not doing it. Even those type of people we come across. So what do we expect from you? We approach the subject with honesty and sincerity. The fact that you're here and you've given us money means you're sincere. That's why we insist on getting payment before, because if you don't pay, then you don't, I don't want to go. I've worked over money, I'm coming. We found out with teacher workshops. It's a very good strategy. You spend time at the site throughout the year, documenting what you observe, using the skills you possess. Okay? You share your observations with others. Participate in some yearly project. The first one we did here was an exhibit. There are other projects. We have lots of other projects that we have developed over the years with the other core, and I'll share those with you later on. And you continue to learn. We have follow-up classes. We found two things happen. When you do this class, people automatically want to know the science behind it. So we do follow-up content classes. I teach in a Master Naturalist program. When you teach people Master Naturalists, they learn the science, they want to know, well, how do I interpret it? See, they all end up at the same place. So a lot of our cores of discovery in Champaign are Master Naturalist training who then want interpretive skills and have a great time doing it. If this isn't fun, don't do it. Okay, I guess. It's kind of my philosophy in life. My job's not fun. Why am I doing it? My mother-in-law cannot understand that Sue and I have jobs that we love. Because she had a job she hated. That's what she did. You grew up, got a job you hated, had some kids, retired, right? And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, did I miss something? That's the way my father was, except when he was picking pecans. All right. We as instructors have a job too. All of you, everybody, has a wall that you put up. You're old, you're experienced, or older, not old. And you have biases in yourself that you think you cannot do. They can't teach me to do that. I'm not going to let them. Well, those walls have to come down, and they will come down. We have a life full of dulling and forgetting. Leonard Cohen was a physicist. As our eyes grow accustomed to sight, they armor themselves against wonder. You ever had to take a bunch of second, third grade kids out? No problem keeping them entertained. How about high school, Roseanne? It's a job, isn't it?
Oh my God. Every now and then, though, you get rewarded.
Every now and then.
That's why you work.
But as we get older, it comes back again. We've got this, it's an inverse bell-shaped curve. Well, that has to change. Otherwise, we're going to end up with nothing. I gave a talk the other night at Vermilion County Volunteers. I looked around the room and I told the chairman of the board, there were 78 people in the room, I said, in 5 years, you're not going to have anybody. What are they all going to be? Dead. I mean, it's just life, you know. There was no intermediate people, middle age, there were no young people. So we have to change that. And it can change. These are some of the examples from previous Imakwan who, I can't do this, I can't draw, I can't write, I can't photograph. Here's some from the Arboretum Corps Discovery after one class. People didn't do this, like, yeah, just go out and try it. You know? Give it a way, give it a whirl. The other thing is, well, I'm not good enough. I can never be good enough. Henry Van Dyke said, use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang there except for those that sang best. Right? Okay. I got some hopes to deal with that. So here's some of our Imakwan discovery. First year, corn. Okay, it's a good thing. April 5th, 05, corn stubble. That's what was out there. That's what she was documenting. But not long, we went to the looked off and saw the mound. You know, if this was in the Lewis and Clark Journal, you'd go, wow, right? Not in Margaret Ovitt's journal. She did get carp, you know, it's invasive, but you know, it's what was there. Here's the old pump house depicted by one of our, and here's one of our ladies who was just beginning in photography. She's become a fine photographer. So you can do this. All right. Question is always, how good is good enough? How good do I have to be? You know, before people don't laugh at me. We don't laugh at each other. Okay? Okay? We can chuckle and go, oh yeah. But so how good is good enough? When something passes the point of impact threshold, it's good enough. If you show somebody something and go, oh man, I wish I'd done that. Then it's good enough. Okay? I wish I'd written that. Or I wish I'd said that. I wish I'd have taken that. Why did you take that photo? Then it's good enough. If you show somebody something and their mind just glazes over and don't get any response whatsoever, then it's not good enough. Okay? This is one of our Allerton Corps discovery. It's a very powerful photo. Right? Mating insects, but it's a very powerful image. So, did I do that? Yeah, you did it. You know? And you did it by applying techniques that we taught you. Here's a lady up in Madison. She sat out and watched her squirrels in her backyard. She hadn't done this before, and she's got a squirrel study. She's got a little scientific study going on there in a very aesthetically pleasing way. And as Pete Doon, the writer and ornithologist, said, for wonder to reach the rubble that lies between individuals and their feelings, a thing must be truly wonderful. Imakwan is a wonderful thing out here. Every time I go by there, I almost get killed by, look, last night we were on the side of the road, and somebody coming by, and there were these pelicans and the cormorants, you know, and they're making this beautiful kind of mosaic out there. You have to do it. You have to stop. You have to see it. The vision was so powerful that I'm willing to risk my life to see this, you know. We don't want you to risk your life to see, but you get the point. Some more journals from the first Imakwan. And we have to remember that in high school I read this, you know, I was a typical high school like anybody else, but I read this and I'm like, wow, you know, from Ulysses. And the rest of the poem was like, eh. But this one line stood out. It said, I am a part of all that I have met. And I said, yeah, what a good way to live your life. And to experience what we call here the power of place. Okay? That's what we're talking about. All right, details, just for a couple minutes here. Instructors are myself and Sue Post. We had another instructor, but she wasn't available, so Sue and I are picking up the slack. Our members can share their work via the internet. The first one, we had a forum, which didn't go over very well, so there's a new technology out called Family Facebook. It's a closed, it's not a, you know, we're going to set up an Imaquan Core Discovery Family Facebook. And each one of you within the next week or 2 weeks will get an invitation to join on your computer. If you have an internet address, you won't get one. So if you have an internet address, you have to make sure that it's right on that piece of paper. And if some of you are already on Facebook and you have a separate Facebook address, we need to know that. Okay? And you will get, and then you can communicate within each other as a group. You're now a family. Okay? And it's closed to everybody else. Okay? So, and a series of aesthetic points and pathways have been established were established in Imaquan. A good percentage of them are now underwater. So you're going to have to change that, you know. Some of them are still accessible. Some of them are not. We'll tell you what those are about in a little bit. All right. So, how do we share? It says we have family Facebook. You can post photos, drawings, writings. You can talk to each other, communicate with each other. Open only to core members. This is something new. All right, set of points and pathways. These are points. Imaquan is a great, giant, bewildering piece of land. Okay? And it's finite. The Cache River system is 250,000 acres spread across southern Illinois. The first thing people ask is, what do we do? What do we document? That's why we set up a set of points and pathways. If you're a scientist, these are called translex and sampling points. Okay? And we call them something else. Provide a systematic, repeatable site for comparison. As Sue will tell you, I won't tell you what she'll tell you. She'll tell you why this is important a little bit later, otherwise I'll get yelled at for. And Sue and I are married, so if you don't know that, when we're arguing with each other, it's okay. First class we did this, he said, are you two married? So set of points and pathways are designed to facilitate and enhance creative observations. At each point, the observer need only record the point number, the date, the time, and the direction of their observation. Otherwise, it's a point in time that is meaningless, right? Just like a specimen has to have where you collected it, who collected the date, and all that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's not data. The observation can be in any form. You choose photo, text, sketch. One gentleman in here carved it out of wood. Well, you're not the wood. Somebody carved it out of wood. Up in northern Illinois, we had a fabric artist. She did all hers in fabric weaving. That was her medium. She applied it, took everything we applied. There was one woman who was a ceramicist. She did everything in ceramic, plaques and pots, whatever. We don't care.
In Madison, we had several quilters, and so a lot of the things they interpreted in fabric as quilts. It was just incredible.
But they still did everything else also. And finally, the same rules apply to pathways, except these are linear walks, drives, canoe trails, kayak trails, whatever. But that's something we will set up here in conjunction with the TNC, since it's their site. And by the time the class is over, we will have these established.
The points of observation, it's like the way we're looking at it?
Yes.
So
I'm looking northeast.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
okay, the way we're looking.
yeah, it's 360 degrees. So, you know, if you do it the next time, you say, I'm looking northeast again.
Okay.
And you
or
do
if we
something.
move around and look at it from another angle.
Absolutely. There's a wonderful new technology in digital cameras, too, where you can take 360-degree panoramas, see them all together. What a great tool, right? We'll show you how to do that. All right, just to show you, here's the Cache River system. This is western Illinois. This is eastern Illinois, spread across. We chose, these were points, and these were points representative of the total habitat of the place, and these were pathways. These were canoe trails, hiking trails. You know, none of these are overly long. We didn't want to send anybody on the Bataan Death March here. We just want them to know where to go and begin. And you don't have to use these. You can go anywhere you want. But these are points. The first exhibit we did at Imaquan was based on these points and pathways. From the Sangamon Corridor, if we cater, here's Champaign. Here are the access points. Huh?
Don't you mean
Springfield. Champaign, Springfield. The flat town in central Illinois. All right, here are the access points. Each one of them is different, shows something different about the river. So that's what we want to do for Amacon.